Welcome to Intuitive Vibes. Erica here. First and foremost, if you're new to the channel and you've managed to go through some of my content, if you find it to be helpful, resourceful in any way, shape, or form, if you haven't already, please be sure to hit the subscribe button because you will be notified every time I put up a video. And of course, to all of my existing subscribers, welcome back. Guys, I know it's been a bit since I put up a video, actually 2 weeks I think since I put up a video. I had been dealing with some things and let's just say I had some final purging to do, but I am back at it again, working harder than ever, so it's always a good thing. It's always a good cause, always for good reasons. But in this video, what I want to talk about is the malignant narcissist, also known as the toxic narcissist. Much like any of the other narcissists, we learned that the malignant narcissist is like any other narcissist. However, they're considered to be the toxic narcissist. Now you have the somatic narcissist, which is the superficial one. You have the cerebral narcissist, which is the mental one. And you have all other narcissists that all have one thing in common. They are after one goal. They're after to get what it is they want. They're basically after attention, adoration, admiration, you name it, they want it, they will do anything to get it. Now, the malignant narcissist, however, is considered to be one of the most dangerous ones. Alongside the cerebral narcissist, because I told you guys before that I put the cerebral narcissist as the top dangerous one because they're using the cerebral, they're using the mind. The malignant narcissist is more toxic in that they would utilize dangerous measures to get what it is they want from a situation or to even possibly destroy their victims. Malignant narcissists run the borderline between a narcissist and a sociopath. They're extremely dangerous. And especially if they're females. Understand something. Though malignant narcissists are more commonly known as males because it's statistically known that men are more common narcissists, the very few females that are malignant narcissists are even more dangerous than the men. Remember what we learned about female narcissists. They're chameleons, okay? They will give this persona of sweet, humble, loving, caring attitude, but the reality of it is that is farthest from the truth. And society has already put women to being the soft, gentler, weaker sex of the two. Now, the reason I say malignant narcissists run borderline between narcissist and sociopath is because malignant narcissism has a combination of the two. They have the combination of narcissism and ASPD, antisocial personality disorder. Now you got to remember, malignant narcissists, they are like other narcissists, but they're just more dangerous on the scale. They are willing to be extremely callous, which means they're willing to be extremely hurtful, whether it be towards you or even towards themselves. These are the types of narcissists that do not care. They have not a care in the world, which means that they don't have any worries about their mask falling off in public or in private. They have no issues in demonstrating what they're capable of in public or in private. They have no issues in doing the things that they do to try to bring you down and kick you while you're down. Now, even though malignant narcissism is not in the DSM, narcissistic personality disorder is. And at the end of the day, malignant narcissism is just basically heightened. It's just a heightened form of narcissism where it's just bordering onto sociopath. So what I want to do is just give you some of the signs, some of the characteristics of a malignant narcissist, and you may be dealing with one, or if you have already dealt with one. So let's just get into it. Now, the first sign is entitlement. We're all familiar with that. We know that all narcissists feel entitled. They feel entitled to our things, our lives, everything. They have to be the center of attention. And of course, they have to be able to get what it is that they want and not be questioned about it. If you try to bring something up to them, or if you try to bring in the big fat elephant in the room, trust and believe you will be meeting with narcissistic rage. If a malignant narcissist says, well, this is how it goes, and this is how it's been, and this is how it's always going to be, if you try to counter that, again, you will be confronted with narcissistic rage. All narcissists are entitled. They feel entitled because they can't accept the fact that they are not the center of the universe. They can't accept the fact that they can't always get their way. It is about them. It's their way or the highway, and that's just the way it is. The next one is lack of conscience and empathy. Now, a lot of us who carry empathy, we know what empathy is. Empathy is a level of understanding someone else's feelings. Now, when you carry empathy, you are putting yourself in someone else's shoes. You're understanding their perspective, and you're basically changing your perspective because you know, as an empathetic person, it's not just about what you think or what you feel. Other people have feelings too. To a malignant narcissist, that is not the case. Their desires, their wants, their needs, the aspirations to get what it is that they want consumes them so much that they don't have a conscience. So when they're hurting you, when they are, I wouldn't even say stepping over your toes, when they're running over your toes, they're not thinking about you. They're not thinking about how you feel, because all that's up here is what it is that they want. And of course, people with a conscience, we know when something is wrong, because it's just that little voice in our heads. You know this is wrong, Erica. Why are you doing this? You understand? Malignant narcissists don't have that. They don't have those little voices. It's all about what I want. I have to do this because if I do this, I'm going to get the outcome that I desire. They do not care about hurting other people's feelings. And the reason being is because that empathy and that conscience go hand in hand. Since they lack both, or in some cases don't have either, they're going to do what it is that's necessary because it's all about them. They don't care. They will look you in your face. You could be crying, you could be distraught, you could be hurting, and they'll just look at you like you're annoying. It's sad to say it that way, but it's the truth. And that can also spark narcissistic rage. Now, the next one is they're a sadist. And a sadist is someone who enjoys or gains pleasure from someone else's pain. That's truly sick. But a malignant narcissist falls under this category because if you notice, if you're dealing with a malignant narcissist or have dealt with one, you'll notice how they enjoy humiliation in movies or extremely horrific death scenes that would just make you cringe, or it's just, it's that eerie, creepy type of, they'll, give those eerie, creepy types of laughs, or just kind of sit there enjoying really horrific stuff. Or if they like to kill their opponents in video games and they gain some kind of pleasure off of that. That's what a sadist is. They're extremely demented people. They gain pleasure off of someone else's pain. So if you notice how a lot of these psychopaths and sociopaths get off on hurting other people, be it if it's physically, mentally, emotionally, they're just, it's their high. It's what gets them by. It's what keeps them going. Malignant narcissists may not commit physical acts of harm, but it does not mean that they're not capable of it. A sociopath can do it, just like I explained in my other video. They can murder someone on a Monday and go on about their day on a Tuesday. A malignant narcissist is just a few steps away from a sociopath. So be very extremely careful, especially if the person you're dealing with or the person you have dealt with happens to carry a lot of these traits, because most of the time we know that when it comes to narcissists, it's never really over, even if you say it's over, because again, they don't look at you like you're a person. They don't carry any kind of empathy. They look at you as personal property. The next one is they are extremely egocentric. Now, we all have egos. We all sometimes allow our egos to do the decision making for us. But at some point, those of us who are non-narcissists will eventually grasp certain concepts. And of course, we learn to change our perspective once we get a clear understanding as to how we misjudged a situation because we judged it based on our ego. not a malignant narcissist. A malignant narcissist allows their ego to control every aspect of their life. So if you manage to try to change their perspective on things, it's not going to work. In fact, it's not only going to not work, but it's going to annoy them and they become enraged. They can't handle the idea of things not being seen from their perspective. It's always about them. Now, you may know someone or people who have a bit of over-the-top egos, but at some point they learn to kind of deflate that. A narcissist, a malignant narcissist at that, will not do that. Their ego is intact and it's staying where it is. They will not budge. They're extremely, extremely stubborn. You either see it their way or they're going to really use aggression. And it could be verbal aggression. It can be, in some cases, physical aggression, which I advise you be careful with that. But it's pretty much the way they see it. Their ego is telling them this is how it is. This is how it needs to be, and this is how it will stay. It makes no sense trying to counter them or argue with them because you will not win. You never win with a narcissist. Sorry to say, guys. Now, the next one is paranoia. Malignant narcissists are extremely paranoid. They're extremely suspicious. They're suspicious about every and anything because they think that people are out to get them. People are out to hurt them. Listen, 15 to 35% of people are suspicious at times. We all get suspicious sometimes, especially if we hear something that we're not too sure of or if we're just trying to gain clarity on certain things. But a malignant narcissist is extremely paranoid. If they read too much into things or if they take something out of context, they'll immediately criticize. They'll immediately get aggressive with you. You could say something as a joke. They will look into that and think that you're trying to hurt them. You're trying to criticize them. You're trying to deflate their ego. The reality of it is, it was a harmless joke and you really didn't mean anything by it. It's okay to have trust issues because we've all been there. But when you have someone who is extremely suspicious about any little thing, who is consistently harping down your throat about things that do not exist, that is extreme paranoia. And you may just be dealing with a malignant narcissist, especially if they're willing to utilize toxicity to drive you crazy about it. Don't let them do that, because at the end of the day, what we learn about narcissists is when they're extremely suspicious and extremely paranoid, usually it's because they're the ones who are committing the act and they're trying to deflect that onto you. So be extremely careful with that because they will try to flip everything around, turn it onto you, even though they're the ones who are doing it. Which brings me to my last one. They project their bad behavior onto you. Narcissists are known to project onto other people their shortcomings. So if you're dealing with a narcissist, a malignant one at that, let's say who is an alcoholic or a drug abuser, they will deflect it onto you. They'll project all of their bad behavior onto you. If they're caught doing something, they will flip it onto you, making you out to be the reason why they're doing it. So if they're cheating on you, they're going to project that shortcoming, which is their lack of empathy, their lack of conscience, their lack of faithfulness onto you. Well, if you had been a better husband, or if you had been a better wife, or if you had been doing this, or if you had been doing that, I wouldn't have gone to do X, Y, and Z. They project everything onto other parties because they do not take accountability. So if they are doing certain things that are opposing to you, and of course opposing to nature, don't let them try to put the blame onto you. I wouldn't have cheated if you would have stayed in line. I wouldn't have done this if you would have done that. I wouldn't have done X, Y, and Z if you hadn't done A, B, and C. Understand? That's deflection. They're deflecting everything to you. They're giving you the blame. They're projecting all of their shortcomings. Well, I'm not a success because of you. I'm not doing what I want to do because I have to contribute to this relationship, which we know narcissists barely contribute anything. If they contribute anything, don't let them deflect onto you. Don't let them project onto you. Everyone is responsible for their own actions. So if it was not done from your hands, that is not your problem. Well, guys, those are some of the signs of dealing with a malignant narcissist. Understand something though, just because a person carries some of these signs does not necessarily mean that they are a narcissist or a malignant narcissist. But it's always important to keep on top of it. And it's important to definitely track these, because regardless whether they're a narcissist or not, if they are demonstrating a lot of these signs, you don't need people in your life like that. You do not need people who have a manipulative nature to themselves. We can all do without manipulation. Trust me, I know I can. And when it comes to malignant narcissists, they're just a hop, skip, and a jump away from a sociopath. And if you have not seen it, please be sure to check out my videos on the sociopaths. I'm going to link it at the end of this video with sociopaths and female sociopaths. Two very, very important videos that I think you guys should check out, because dealing with a malignant narcissist is extremely detrimental. Okay? They don't care. They really don't. They only care about themselves. They don't care if they hurt you. They don't care if they hurt anyone else close to them. They do not care if anyone can see beyond their mask, because they got what they wanted out of a situation. And at the end of the day, if need be, they will do whatever it takes. Malignant narcissists will do whatever it takes, even if it means hurting someone, whether it be emotionally, mentally, or physically. Stay out of that warpath. Stay out of that danger zone and just keep it moving. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, please give me a thumbs up. And as always, love, peace, blessings to you all. Stay safe. And until next time, namaste.